Gotcha. Nice. Do you think there'll be people using M mode in tournament? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I honestly really think M mode is really good. So yes, I mean, as long as the tournaments don't ban it, I think definitely. Like, it's not just like, you know, because people are trying to make it sound like it's just for like new players or training wheels to get into classic. And the way they have it right now, nah. I mean, it's just like, in a lot of ways, it's superior. Like, I'll show you after I get like rocked in this whatever versus the computer. Take what I say with a grain of salt though, right? Because it's not like I'm super pro or anything like that, you know? I'm just like super casual player. I love fighting games, I've been playing them for a long time, but I mean, other than that, like, I mean, I don't really have any authority in this kind of genre, right? But there's no, like, so you have like these dialogue combos like this. So you have stuff like that, you have this. I mean, like, pretty big damage nerf, right? But the important thing is, like, you can hit confirm this, right? So if they're, like, doing a drive impact or something, you see that shit, and you're just like, oh, let me just go into this, you know? Or, like, I mean, you're doing footsies, right? And, like, I mean, it's easy to be like, okay, I'm gonna react to this, and I'm gonna do this in my head to his one thing that he's gonna do. But in reality, if you're fighting someone else, they could jump in, they can do like a drive rush, you know, like they can, you know, do a super, they can do so many things, right? So your mind is like kind of anticipating like 6 whatever different pathways you can take. So like the more and more options there are, the slower your reaction is going to be, right? So even if you're like Momochi level, like hella godlike or whatever with your inputs and your execution and your decision making, all that stuff, and like everything's like S tier, like your attribute wise, you're still like going to be at a disadvantage, right? Because you're human, right? But if you got like the power of modern, and I'm not saying like modern's going to overcome everything, but in that situation, you could be like, oh, he's doing drive rush, let me just, you know, one frame, you know, super move instead of like down four, like, oops, can I? I'm not good on pad, so, but yeah, you know, let me just manually do it like this, right? Like, during this time that you see him like almost teabagging, like I already got hit by whatever the other guy's doing. But if you're playing footsies, you're like right out of the range, you see how like right out of range you're low forward, right? Like you're just right there and, you know, doing this kind of shit, and he flinches, or he jumps, like, you know, trying to like bait you into something, neutral jump. On his way down, you're like, oh, super. You know what I mean? Like, just from that alone, modern's like so good. And I saw some option selects where like you're sending like fireballs out the way, and there's an option select for when the guy jumps and there's like a fireball on screen. Instead of sending another fireball out, you just like you do drive rush Shoryu, and I'm like, that's hella cheap, you know? Like, you know, but I mean, that's just like one example. And then people talk about, oh, you're missing your tool set, which is true. Right, you don't have roundhouse anymore, like strong or like your fierce kick. You don't have it, right? Which sucks, because actually a lot of times, at least when I was playing Ryu, like if you drive rush into it, like with the roundhouse, which he does not have, right? You start with that, you do the roundhouse, and then you do low forward like this into another drive rush, which you know, to do like an actual drive rush combo. But with modern, I haven't really figured out a drive rush combo that's like not shitty, you know? So I don't know, you know? There are some definitely downsides, but like, you know, I was thinking like, oh, where's his other buttons? Like, he doesn't have like sweep anymore, but he does. Like, I mean, so he has this just going down, but if you look at my controls on the left, you see it's diagonal forward, and then you press it, he has a sweep still, right? So he has that, I mean, and he has this roundhouse, right? So his command normals are there, a lot of them, not all of them, but like back roundhouse, it's there, you know? So you can, you know what I'm saying? You can do this. So, I mean, look at that, you know what I'm saying? Like, execution barrier is not there. And it's not to say that you don't have to have decision making. You still do, there is execution still. It's just way easier than actually doing like down forward, or like doing like, you know, like Shoryu input. This is like a manual input, right? But, you know, this is like just the forward special. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? So like any anti-air, if you can react to anti-air by doing this, because this is like the easiest anti-air, right? Just crouching, whatever, fierce. But if you have time to do that, you have time to do forward and special, which is this. So, you know, like I don't know, like even with the 20% damage nerf and all this stuff, and you're missing some moves, like you don't have your jump medium punch, which I feel is his best air to air personally. Depending on the circumstances, jumping short is really good because it's highly active and it takes really like high priority. But without proper training mode, I don't know how good it is in this version of Street Fighter versus like Street Fighter like 4 or Street Fighter 3 or whatever, you know? But yeah, the biggest downside I see so far is that I don't really see like a legit drive rush combo that you can do in this mode. But even without like a super legit like long extension combo, because like there's certain things that you can do to extend your combo, but the damage scaling plus the 20% damage nerf means that you actually don't want long combos with modern mode in particular. So you just want big beefy hits, or even something as simple as like let's say like fierce into Shoryu, right? That's me manually inputting these moves, right? Instead of like doing fierce into forward special, it does less damage actually. If I do like the special version, you can see the input on the left where it says SP, that's special, right? But if I mean, you see the red again, that's me manually doing that. So you can still manually do your moves. So people who are talking about like, okay, if you do special Hadouken, you can't change your speed, like whatever, you know? Because it's only going out at what I'm assuming is medium speed, right? It looks like medium speed. Is it? Hold on, let's see. So this is manual. Okay, this is fierce. Okay, so actually the special like one button version of Hadouken is like fierce speed, so it's the fastest speed. But let's say you want to switch it up. You can still do it. Down forward light punch. Look at that, right? Down forward medium. Down forward heavy, you know? You can do it, right? So like your tool set is not actually that limited. Again, drive rush combos are kind of like whack right now. I mean, there might be people who actually know, like, you know, people on Twitter or Discord, they might have like legit combos, right? But like, I don't know, right? But yeah, you know, having stated that, like, I feel like it's just too good, like the benefits that you get. And if you get good with the controls, which I'm not, because I'm pressing the wrong buttons a lot, or when I'm in like footsies or neutral like this, like, because if you press back in special, you'll get like Tatsu. So a lot of times I'm trying to move back and then, you know, throw a fireball, move back, throw a fireball, you know, I'm actually getting this accidentally. Or I'm trying to move forward and fireball and I get this instead. So, you know, once I get used to that kind of stuff, I feel like this would be really, really good. Especially when I'm playing on the Steam Deck, I feel like it would be excellent, right? Because you'll already be on pad, and if you get good at modern controls, then, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be hella good. But anyway, yeah, back to playing the computer. Yeah, modern, yeah, they're going to be using it in tournaments for sure, as long as it's not banned. I don't see why they wouldn't, right? Like, honestly. Like, I mean, I know there's going to be like boomer mentality where some people are going to be like, oh, you got to play it the old ways, you know? And like, I mean, I played in the arcades, you know? Like, I mean, I enjoyed the fight stick. I have a fight stick. But not everyone's going to be like dropping down like $250 or whatever they cost nowadays, or like $300 to get a controller to play a genre they may or may not like, you know? That's exactly why I'm playing on pad, playing modern right now, trying to get used to it. Because I'm like, hey, if I was a new player coming in, what would this be like? And honestly, if you got used to this would be like totally fine. And in tournament play, I don't feel like it'd be that bad. In fact, I feel like the advantages are so legit, right? If you get the option selects down, I mean, it's like people who you used to think, you know, playing on pad is whack, and then they're like, oh, I gotta get a stick, because all my favorite players are playing on stick, right? But then like there's like, you know, crazy tech that came out on just playing on pad back in the day, where you can do multiple inputs using the D-pad and the analog stick, shit that you can't do on a stick, right? So in my opinion, as a stick player, I feel like the stick is the weakest controller. I feel like the pad is more optimal. I feel like hitbox is even more optimal, you know? That's why there's that meme calling it like cheat box, you know? Let's see, thanks for your answer. Even though I play with classic, with arcade, still learning, but my friends can finally play games with me based on M mode. It helps a lot. Yeah, see, and that's another thing. Like, so the main thing really is, I mean, I'm looking at it like a tournament standpoint, you know, like would people use this? Like, I mean, there's even Japanese players right now, they're like, you know, a lot of them are like, yeah, I'm just gonna go straight modern. These are like people who are pro players, right? So it's just kind of like, yeah, they're definitely gonna use this in tournament. But yeah, even for like casual players, like, you know, dial a combo, you know, that's, you can just spam combos out. You can do one button specials, and like so these guys can start playing the game immediately. And if they want to get really sweaty about it and get really into the nerdy, like the nitty gritty, they can go classic, you know. And I'm even thinking like if you played hitbox and played on modern, or like stick on modern, I feel like it'd be really good. Just the only downside, it feels really weird because you only have 3 normals instead of like 6 normals, right? So it's like not 3 punches and 3 kicks, you just have like 3 attack buttons, and it feels really weird. And so I'm pressing the wrong buttons constantly. So like, you know, and that's like, I'm missing up on like even basic stuff like anti-air stuff too, like, and not just used to like drive impact, drive rush, all that stuff. So I'm learning. So right now, like me getting my ass beat by the computer, like even if I'm not doing like legit combos, I feel like just getting used to like drive impact and reacting to that, or like all these other things, and getting used to the button layout so your mind's not thinking about it, because you don't ever want to be in that situation where you're like, oh, I'm gonna tie my shoes, how do I do it? Okay, this lace goes underneath, you loop it once, and then you turn it around here, and then you make a, you know, you don't think that, you just automatically do it. You know, the brain synapses are already there, made that connection, so like you want that muscle memory. So yeah, like, you know, just initial, you know, reaction to this, I think modern is extremely strong, personally. Now, am I gonna play modern when the game actually goes live? I'll probably stick with classic for the most part, but I want to get at least very comfortable with modern so I can go back and forth between the two. That way, when I'm playing on Steam Deck, because that's a pad essentially, right? I want to, you know, be able to, you know, still be legit. So.